Good morning, dear hearts. We're on lesson 307, and the lesson is conflicting wishes cannot be my will. By the way, please subscribe if you have not yet. A couple of years ago in doing this lesson, I gave it a dramatic reading, and it was conflicting wishes cannot be my will because they're not. My will is God's will for me, and there can be no conflict. There is no conflict in what our Father wishes, wants, desires for all of his children. But this lesson, conflicting wishes cannot be my will, might seem completely out of touch with the world as we view it currently. There's so much conflict in this world when I look upon it. And I have to look and say, this cannot be real. I mean, that's the first clue, that this cannot be real. This world that I see as it appears to me, it's not possible that that's the real world, because that could not possibly be my Father's desire for me. I'm going to go in a couple of places in first the text and then lessons that I've done in the previous years as well. First of all, in chapter 9, the acceptance of the atonement, the very first couple of lines tell us, and I've used this before, that fear of the will of God is one of the strangest beliefs the human mind has ever made. It could not possibly have occurred unless the mind were already profoundly split, making it possible for it to be afraid of what it really is, what the mind really is, who we really are. And we only will be afraid of that if our mind is indeed separate and separated from our Father. The next place in the workbook that I want to go to is lesson 74, because it says it right here. So we can say that today's lesson 307 is very much a reworking or a reiteration of lesson 74, that there is no will but God's, because there isn't. And the lesson begins that the idea for today can be regarded as the central thought toward which all of our exercises are directed. God's is the only will. God's is the only will. There is no other will but God's for us. When we have recognized this, you have recognized that your will is his. The belief that conflict is possible has gone. If I realize that there is only one will and I am in total agreement with my Father's will for me, then there will be no conflict. Conflict will not be possible. It will be eradicated from my mind. Peace has replaced that strange idea that you are torn by conflicting goals. As an expression of the will of God, you have no goal but his. No goal but his. And then again, what is my Father's goal or will for me? So we go to lesson 101, that God's will for me, for you, for all of his children is perfect happiness. And this, I've said many, many times, perfect joy, perfect happiness. And paragraph 6 says, God's will for you is perfect happiness because there is no sin, and suffering is causeless, joy is just, and pain is but the sign that you have misunderstood yourself. Fear not the will of God. Fear not the will of God, because God's will for us is exactly what we want for ourselves as well. So conflicting wishes, conflicting goals cannot be my will. The first part of today's lesson is in prayer, and it says, Father, your will is mine. And I know that, and only that your will is exactly the same as what my will is for me as well. There is no other will, no other desire, no other wish for me to have. Let me not try to make another will as I have tried to make another world, for it is senseless and will cause me pain. Your will alone can bring me happiness, and only yours exists. If I would have what only you can give, I must accept your will for me and enter into peace where conflict is impossible. And in true peace, the peace of God, the peace that Christ bestows upon us, there is no conflict. There is only oneness, and there is no conflict possible in oneness, because all is one. There is unity. There is no conflict there. Where I enter into peace where conflict is impossible. Your Son is one with you in being and in will, and nothing contradicts the holy truth that, and here it is, that I remain as you created me. I remain as that one whole perfect thought that was evident in the moment of our creation from our Father. From one whole healed mind comes a whole healed mind. I remain as you created me, Father. And with this prayer, because the first part was prayer, and with this prayer, we enter silently into a state where conflict cannot come, because we join our holy will with God's in recognition that they are the same. There is no opposition to God's will and our will. There is no conflict. There is no doubt. There is only certainty, because there is only certainty in God, and there is only certainty in God's will for us. God doesn't wonder, what do I want for my children? Just as a human parent wants only what is happy and joyful for their children. Our celestial Father, our celestial parent, wants exactly that for his children. Peace, love, ease of mind, truth, joy. That's what we are being willed. That's what our Father's will for us is. And will I oppose that? No, I will not. And I don't think anyone else would as well. I mean, we could go to that one phrase in the text of, would you prefer to be right or happy? But don't we all know the answer? Don't we already know the real answer? That we will be happy. We will to be happy as our Father wills us to be. And that is it for today. And I hope it helped. It's a lovely lesson. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please smile. Please take in a deep breath, release it, and know that conflicting wishes are neither your will nor God's for you. Namaste.